What really cuts through the noise, honestly, is the handwritten envelope, because envelopes have a 3 times greater open rate than print.
On today's episode of 5 Minute Founders, I'm talking to David Wax, founder of Handwrytten, that is handwritten with a Y. Handwrytten has put ballpoint pens in the hands of 175 plus robots so that you can send automated handwritten notes at scale to your customers. David, let's jump right in. Who are your most popular customers? Where does this approach sort of make the most sense? And what types of content have you seen really cut through the noise?
It's really anybody that's looking to stand out in this sea of electronic communication, but we do very well with high-touch events such as end-of-life care for pets or people. We do well with automotive dealerships, nonprofits. Nonprofits, the number one issue with a nonprofit is redonation rate. So they spend all this time acquiring you, Matt, to donate, and then your redonation rate is typically in the 42 to 48% rate. So they lose over half of their donors every year, and they churn. And the number one reason of the churn is because donors don't feel thanked. And I think feeling thanked and being thanked are very different things. So if I go on, to some donors, nonprofit's website, and I donate online, and then I immediately get back an email from Blackbaud or whoever their donor management platform is saying thank you, is that a thank you? Not to me, it's not. Being thanked and feeling thanked are very, very different. We help people feel thanked at scale. So it works very well for nonprofits, but really, any high ticket item, a lot of realtors use us, that type of thing too.
Yeah, as you're talking, it really makes a lot of sense that those high ticket items and maybe companies that have sort of like intimate pain point with a customer really makes sense to get a kind of note. And I think that you referenced sort of end of life. In the area of pets, I read a story from you that said, was talking, I think it was about like a dog food or like pet food company. And they were keeping track of when the pet would pass, and then they would send a condolences note and sort of retain that customer for the next pet, which is, it's really pretty brilliant.
Yeah. And then we have another one, or maybe it's the same one, that sends out birthday hats every year for your, with the handwritten card, and you're supposed to put it on the pad and take a photo and post it to Instagram, which is a lot of fun, and it's great for them to have that viral aspect as well. So people can get very creative about it, but I think the best use case is just automating thank you notes. If you sit here and try to pontificate and find the best campaign ever, which is always good to do, you're going to miss out on the huge and easy automation opportunity of just automating thank you notes, automating birthday cards, that type of thing. So,
right. So when you say automating, are the companies providing the messages, like the actual text that they want to go on the card?
Typically, the client has a templated note with a bunch of merge fields in it. So, and if you put enough merge fields in something, it's going to sound personal.
Right.
Dear Matt, so glad you stopped at our store and bought that teal shirt. So you don't say teal, cotton, medium, men's, whatever the SKU is. You roll it up to the top level category of shirt, and that's the right level of personalization. So we work with clients on that type of stuff too.
Within these messages, do you see any trends in the types of messages that are really cutting through the noise? The content, I guess I'm talking about.
What really cuts through the noise, honestly, is the handwritten envelope, because envelopes have a 3 times greater open rate than printed.
I bet.
Yeah. So that is the key. And then once you got them opened, keep it short. We have clients that want to send, 1,000 characters or 2,000 characters. Nobody's going to read it. Nobody's going to believe it. But if you keep it to 500 characters or less, it's more digestible. It's not a homework assignment for the recipients. I would say the big things are keep it short. For thank you notes, keep it as what I call a full stop thank you. Don't include calls to action. If you do want to include a call to action on that, I'd put that call to action printed on the card so it looks like you grabbed some card that already had that and then you write a personal note on it. So like on the back of the card, maybe include a QR code or something, but don't print it on the writing area, or don't write it in the writing area. You want it to seem very unique or very personal. So those are kind of the big ones. And then being consistent, sending up to 4 handwritten cards a year. I would say 1 to 2 is really just fine, and certainly no more than 4. Everybody's going to know you have better things to do than sitting around and sending handwritten notes all day.
We got our 12th note from the pet food company. It's getting a little creepy. David, I heard that you once had the opportunity to have dinner with Conan O'Brien. He gave you this advice: get in over your head.
100%.
I wonder, in the time since that dinner, how or when have you ever taken that advice, and how did you grow from that experience? That's all the time we have for today. If you are interested in hearing the rest of my conversation with David Wax, you can check us out on YouTube at Jump 450. And do not forget to follow for more weekly episodes. We'll see you next time.